In this video, we are going to introduce how can we handle events in React. And for that, what we will do, we will take a look at our card component to see how we can handle events here. So you must be thinking what kind of event we want here. So what I want is whenever you click on the button, I want to see an alert message. So first thing what I can fix here is like when you hover over the button, it doesn't show a pointer. I will change the CSS. So whenever you hover over button, change the cursor to pointer. Now this is much better. We want to handle events on any of the element here. Say for example, if somebody clicks on any of the button here, we need to alert a message saying hello world. So that is the first thing we want to handle. So let's just try to understand how events works in React. So I'll just walk you through to understand how does event works in HTML. So to make event work, let's try to add some code in the HTML file. You should not be doing that. I'm just doing it to show it to you that how event actually works in HTML. So here you have a button element. Button element says click me. Say you want to handle a click on this button. So how can you do that? So simplest way of doing that is by saying onClick. Go ahead and call this function alert. And here I want to say you clicked me. What do you think will happen when we click on this button? The same thing that we asked them to do. And that is how simple it is to handle event in HTML. But we need to also understand that this is not the best way of handling event in HTML is because there are a lot of limitations when you are handling events like this. Things like you cannot do multiple things because you are writing your JavaScript inside a string. Other thing is at one point of time it will only take care of one event. And that is the reason we switched to addEventListener in our DOM part. And that is a better way of handling events. But React is going to help you in writing event directly on the element itself. So say I want to handle event on these two buttons. So what can I say is I can just say onClick. One thing to notice is in HTML, onClick is running later, but here it is camelCase. So onClick, I want to do something. And that something can be a function, right? So I can just write a function here saying handle click. And that function, all it does is alert you click me. Now here on click, we just need to pass that function. So we'll say handle click. So now when you go ahead and click on any button that is a dog, so let's just click on this. What will happen? You will see the message, you clicked me. One thing that React already solved is like you don't have to write JavaScript in double quote as you were writing in HTML. You can write it directly like this. And you also know that this HTML like structure is not exactly HTML. So this will get converted to JavaScript, that is React.createElement. And React will take our onClick event and React will convert this to addEventListener. So that is why what we can do, even though it looks like very similar to HTML event, but it is very different from that. So you can directly add an event listener on JSX and React will take care of your events by converting it to addEventListener. You must be thinking in HTML, whenever you handle any event, you get access to an event object. Do you get access to the event object here? You do. So you get the same thing here. Say for example, if you want to get access to event, so instead of saying alert, you clicked me, you can say console.log the event object. Click on the button and we can see the message event. But one important thing here we can see, it is called synthetic base event. Don't worry about that. It is exactly similar to normal event object. It is just that React has created it for optimized purposes. You will understand these things later on really well, but right now just go ahead and try to understand that this synthetic base event is very similar to normal event object. we are calling this function handleClick, and handleClick is either logging a message or doing alert by saying you clicked me. So right now we are just adding event to dogs. Let's just go ahead and add it to cats also. So now when we click on any of them, you will see the alert message saying you clicked. So this is how you handle events. This is the most basic event. We'll learn about other event types in our next module, but here this is good enough. So right now what we are doing is whenever any event is happening, we are just doing alert, you clicked me. What if we want to do multiple things here? So for that, you just have to keep adding multiple lines and it will work in that. One interesting thing what we can do is like right now, all these events are doing the same thing, that is alerting a message, you clicked me. But what if you want some custom message for all of them? Say here, what I want is for each cats, I want to say, hello, the name of the cat, how you're doing. That is how we want it to. So for that, we will have to change the message. So we'll alert, hello, and here the name will come. So let's just write name for now. We'll take the parameter later on. Hello name, comma, how you're doing. So here we need access to name. How can we give them access to name? So we have to pass as parameter, because that is the only way of passing anything as parameter to other function. So here we want to pass props.name, but this is a function call. What do we need to pass to onClick? A function reference always, because only if the event happens, this function will be called. But if you call it, what will onClick do? So that's why whenever you want to pass parameter, you wrap it into another function and pass the parameter, like in our case, it is props.name. Here we will accept that name as name, and now when you click on say hello, it will be like, hi Chito, how are you doing? Similarly here, if you go to the next dog, the name is changing everywhere. Can you see that? Sometimes in this case scenario, you also need access to the event object. And which function is getting access to the event object? Whether it is handleClick or this callback function. So when you look closely, you'll find out this is the callback function getting called by onClick. So this function will get access to event object. And if you want to access it and pass it to handle event, you can do it like this. That's not a problem. So if you want to access that, I'll do the same thing here. Pass this as second parameter. So our first parameter is the name and second is the event. If you want to see that, you can just say event, and here we can say log event. Save, refresh it here, click on any other dog. What we will see here we are getting the alert message with the name, and here we are getting the event object. So in this way, we learned about how to handle event in React. So it is very similar to using event on HTML by using onClick event handler that accepts a callback function. That callback function also get access to event object. We will learn about different event types in upcoming videos.